You know, when I created this channel, I never thought for even a second I would create anything other than gaming videos. But here I am, making a video on the Somali scammers that plague Minnesota. But you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Sometimes you just gotta let your nuts hang. And by the way, this video is just gonna be mainly me ranting. I've never made a video like this before, so don't expect much. And also, it's not gonna be really informational at all or anything like that. But, you know, just bear with me. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Somali scamming daycares. If you don't know what's going on, I'll give you the cliff notes. Somali scammers have started daycares in Minnesota that don't have the correct amount of kids there or any at all, and they are funded by taxpayer dollars, which is illegal. It's fraud, but there is some good news. Trump did terminate the TPS program for Minnesota. You can pause and read here, but it stands for temporary protected status. And also there's ICE raids near Minneapolis. It's the video there is just 11 minutes long of people blowing whistles at the ICE station, screaming at them. It's nothing of like value at all. They're just being annoying. By the way, there are 800 of these Somali daycares that are in Minnesota. This one's just talking about one of the 800, the Quality Learning Center. And the video you see there is Nick Shirley's. It's a 42-minute video that goes really in depth, and he did actual journalism, unlike the news agencies that are completely biased and withhold information. Also, I'd like to mention that they also misspelled learning. They forgot the N in their own sign. You can also see it there. It's circled in red. I just thought that was funny. I had to mention that. But if you thought it couldn't get worse, you'd be wrong. It isn't just fraudulent daycares. It is also Medicaid programs. In this tweet, it says, the amount stolen in the fraudulent Medicaid programs in Minnesota isn't hundreds of millions. It isn't $1 billion. It's $9 billion. Half of the money in all 14 Medicaid programs was fraud. It also goes on to say, Minnesota news reporter got out of a conference with the lead prosecutor in all the federal fraud cases in Minnesota and confirmed these details.
I just got out of a press conference where First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson, the lead prosecutor in all these federal fraud cases in Minnesota, said that the 14 Medicaid waivered programs that are under scrutiny in Minnesota cost $18 billion since 2018. And Thompson said it's possible that half of that could be fraudulent. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson said today that the 14 different programs in Minnesota that are now essentially under probation because of suspected fraud paid out a total of $18 billion since 2018. Here's exactly what he said about that $9 billion fraud estimate.
I don't make these generalizations in a hasty way, so when I say a significant amount, I'm talking in the order of half or more. But we'll see. When I look at the claims data and the providers, I see more red flags than I see legitimate providers, and overwhelmingly so.
So you're saying you have reason to believe more than half of that $18 billion likely represents fraud?
I'm saying that's very possible, yes.
Thompson made these statements as he announced charges against 6 new suspects in the various fraud cases. One of them, Thompson called fraud tourism, because he says the 2 suspects came here from Philadelphia because of Minnesota's reputation for easy money. They're accused of stealing $3.5 million, claiming to offer housing stabilization services. Lots more details still to come. I'm Lou Ragoose. Follow for more news.
Sorry about the audio being messed up. I don't know why it was mainly in the left ear, but the part where Joe Thompson was actually talking was really quiet, so I turned it up. Hopefully that helped. But now tell me this. Riddle me this, Batman. How in the fucking hell does half of the money in 14 Medicaid programs, $9 billion, how does this even happen? How does $9 billion just go missing? The level of corruption in this state it's unbelievable. I'm absolutely dumbfounded. But anyway, the next thing we're going to talk about is there's actually 4,000 daycares in a 20-mile radius around Boston, and a full quarter of that is water. Like, why the fuck do y'all need so many damn daycares? There's more daycares than there's fucking McDonald's. Now, if you look to your right, you can see a daycare beside a daycare beside a daycare. And now, if you look to your left, you get to see a daycare beside a McDonald's beside a daycare. Isn't this place just lovely? Man, the sights here are so wonderful. Now, this is where I really start to talk about my opinion on the whole thing. And, you know, I kind of gave my opinion throughout the video a little bit, but the main half, like first half, was kind of just like, you know, giving the information and whatnot. I also know that I'm late to the party on this, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, it's ranting time, boys. All right, let's get into it. So, Tim Walz, Mr. Cuck, I like to call him, better known, really. He is a Democrat, of course, if you didn't know. And this all happened under... I refuse to believe that he doesn't know that any of this has happened. He's actually probably a part of it. Now, of course, I don't know that. I'm just a stupid guy on the internet, right? But some of these daycares have, like, 13 like violation, right? And how are they even still running? Like, and there's plenty of people that like would call the police or something on it, whatever, say something about it, whatever, whatnot, and report it, and then there's nothing done about it. Why are they still getting the money? Why was it never investigated? It everyone like all the way up to Tim Walz, Mr. Cuck, all the way down, like even the pencil pushers that are, just doing what they're told. I think they need to go scorched earth, put all of them in jail, and then all the Somalis, they take them, you revoke their citizenship if they have it, and then confiscate every dollar, everything that they own, and just out of generosity allow them to pack one suitcase and then deport them back to their country and never allow them back in here. You are not an American if you come here and you scam the taxpayers of their money. You are just not. By the way, I almost guarantee you it's not in just Minnesota. It's probably in a bunch of other states, like especially the blue ones, like California and stuff like that. But it's probably in most states, if I'm going to be honest with you. And it also is probably not just Somalians that are scamming the country. It's like Mexicans and everything else. I hate the way America is right now. How does something like that even happen? How does something so this is like common sense. You would just like at least investigate it to see what's going on, and it just didn't happen. And by the way, there's also rumors. I haven't like really looked into this about like the money actually even going to like Somali terrorist groups. If I can find some like tweets of it or whatever, I'll put them up. But like even if it wasn't going to the terrorists and it was just going straight into the pockets of the Somalians and whatever, just what are we doing? How do we get to this point where we're being like suckered into having like our money getting stolen, and it's somehow like we're racist or something like that because we don't want our money to get stolen by foreigners. And just also, it's not just that, we also give so much money to foreign countries instead of taking care of the problems we actually have in America. So instead of solving, homeless veterans or, breaking back mental asylums, because clearly we need them, and also just getting these corrupt pieces of shit out of our government. The level of corruption, it really can shows you how bad it is, because it goes, even the governor, like even probably most of the police officers. I mean, like even if you are not like you don't actually believe in this or you don't want to do it, but if you still do it, you're still compliant. You're still complicit, and you should still go to jail for it. I mean, you should. Like, you need to punish every single one of these, and even if it's not fair, you definitely should do it, because then it stops people from doing it. And that's the reason why that's why I think a lot of the problems are still happening in America, especially when it comes to like the left and Democrats and stuff like that. It's simply because, Trump administration doesn't go hard enough. They don't like really throw the book at people and punish them. They don't really, absolutely crush them so that these problems stop happening. Like, you should have stomped these people out. Like, as soon as you heard of this, I mean, like, have him arrested. Don't have him just, testify before, the House or something like that. Have him testify before a judge and put him in jail for treason and arrest all these people. And it's the same thing with, like, the ICE raids, and people like in California and people blocking the ICE raids and stuff. Why were they not all just instantly arrested? Like, why didn't you just start instantly arresting people and putting them in jail for like 2 years or something for like, obstruction of justice or whatever it is? Like, stuff like that. People keep doing it because they know they can get away with it, right? And I bet you that's why Tim Walz and everyone else in Minnesota that's part of the government and part of this fucking fraud scam, they're doing it because at least Tim Walz knows that he can get away with it to the most part. Now, to be fair, Trump is doing some things like, cutting the, funding and doing some ICE raids near it, like Minneapolis and earlier. I mean, this is not really kind of relevant to what I'm talking about, but we were having problems with Venezuela, and he went over there and captured the, I don't know whether it's like their minister or president. He's a dictator. He's a piece of shit, but we got him in the bag, right? And his entire family. Easy, 2 hours in and out, right? But big W on that, actually. Big W. I like that. But Trump hasn't really been doing anything, right? And I'm a big believer in nothing ever happens. So I hear about all these good things, like the Epstein files, right? Oh, the Epstein files are going to come out. I didn't really think they were going to come out, mainly because like I just didn't believe that something that hasn't came out for years he's going to push him out. But anyway, he also handled that horribly. But I'm getting off track again. But I don't understand how 800 of these daycares could just be sucking, like literally vacuuming up the money from the government and everything else. These people, they're not even good at scamming. Like they can't even fucking spell. They spell learning wrong. It's not even that hard of a word. And I also think we should make English I mean, it's kind of like everyone assumes it, but like, I think we should officially make English the national language. And if you can't speak English, you can't come into the country. Like, there's no benefit for people that literally cannot speak English to come into the country. Like, you can't read the signs. Like, and this is talk about driving and everything. You can't read the road signs. You can't read the signs like in the like fucking restaurant. You can't read any of that. So like everything's in English. So like why are we not making this like there's just a lot of problems about America that I want to complain about, and I'm kind of doing that in this video. But you're working fucking 40 plus hours a week busting your ass to, live paycheck to paycheck, and these Somali scammers are literally living in, like, depending on where you live, multi-million-dollar houses. Like if you live in Texas or something, like the houses that they're living in are literally like multi-million-dollar. And it's absolutely crazy. And they just register their house as like daycare, so they get paid for like taking care of their own kids. Like it's so fucking crazy. Like, how does this even happen? Like, there's no checking at all. Why can any Joe Smo just register something as, a daycare without it being properly, checked? But that's about to be all for this video. I'm going to try to stop it here so it's not ranting for too long, and I'm not ranting for like fucking, 30 minutes or something. And this is probably not of anything of significance. It's just probably, it's just really me sitting here complaining about the same thing over and over again, and how I don't see how this happens and whatnot. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, or you didn't, I guess, leave a like or dislike, I guess, But if you actually want me to do more videos, make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any constructive criticism, like how to make this video better, what do you think, whatever, whatnot. Maybe you just want me to shut the fuck up and not actually rant at the end here. But anyway, hope you guys have a good day. Make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'm also working on a repo video. I paused it, which is, it's going to take a lot longer than this video because it's like going to be a big ass video. It's like 30 minutes. So I'm not going to say when it's going to come out because I have no fucking clue. But maybe in between me making that video, if you want to see more of these, more of my opinions on things, if you want me to keep, kind of do a mixture of gaming and, commentary videos on this channel, or maybe you want me to make a whole nother channel and just make that just for commentary, tell me in the comment section. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.